As a person with a disability, I'm a proud advocate for persons with special needs because I know how critical it is that support be provided to ensure every child can maximize his potential. Every dollar that is donated to this run is spent on ensuring children with special needs get an equal opportunity to an education and proper health care. To make a difference in the life of a child with special needs, make sure you sign up for the Digicel Virtual 5K for Special Needs this October. I am Christine Hendricks, head of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. I can for special needs, so can you.
Community-Based Rehabilitation Jamaica is an organization aimed at enhancing the quality of life of children and adolescents with disabilities. With funding from the 2019 Digicel 5K Run for Special Needs, we secured transportation services for our team to do home visits and conduct professional assessments and intervention clinics. Children with disabilities face multiple forms of discrimination which lead to their exclusion from society and school. That's why we continue to bring our services to those with special needs. My name is Sandra Long-White, Projects Manager at Community-Based Rehabilitation Jamaica. I can for special needs. Will you?
As a person with a disability, I'm a proud advocate for persons with special needs because I know how critical it is that support be provided to ensure every child can maximize his potential. Every dollar that is donated to this run is spent on ensuring children with special needs get an equal opportunity to an education and proper health care. To make a difference in the life of a child with special needs, make sure you sign up for the Digicel Virtual 5K for Special Needs this October. I am Christine Hendricks, head of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. I can for special needs, so can you.
Community-Based Rehabilitation Jamaica is an organization aimed at enhancing the quality of life of children and adolescents with disabilities. With funding from the 2019 Digital 5K Run for Special Needs, we secured transportation services for our team to do home visits and conduct professional assessments and intervention clinics. Children with disabilities face multiple forms of discrimination which lead to their exclusion from society and school. That's why we continue to bring our services to those with special needs. My name is Sandra Long-White, Projects Manager at Community-Based Rehabilitation Jamaica. I can for special needs. Will you?
As a person with a disability, I'm a proud advocate for persons with special needs because I know how critical it is that support be provided to ensure every child can maximize his potential. Every dollar that is donated to this run is spent on ensuring children with special needs get an equal opportunity to an education and proper health care. To make a difference in the life of a child with special needs, make sure you sign up for the Digicel Virtual 5K for Special Needs this October. I am Christine Hendricks, head of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. I can for special needs, so can you.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our meeting once more this Thursday, October 15th, and it is officially 3 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. So, of course, in true FMA fashion, we put God first in everything. So we're going to ask Tariq to pray for us. Tariq?
Yes, guys. So I'll be praying for you. You hear me now?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
All right. So close your eyes, clasp your hands. All right. So, Father, we thank you for this opportunity together, socially distanced on this platform. Bless each person present, whether they are viewing via Instagram or YouTube. Bless each as we pray that this meeting is successful, productive, and blessed. Holy Spirit, guide us throughout this discussion with today's speaker, Ewan, and may we all walk away with key insights. Bless us as we meet together in Lord name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. We're going to invite our Vice President Rovell to come and welcome us. Rov? Well.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Testing. Okay, so you're hearing me. Good. All right, so all go on, everybody. Welcome one and all to another virtual FMA meeting. And of course, every week we try and go bigger and better. Last week we spoke about the virtual run, and so this week we are really anticipating some really good insight about digital marketing or coming up with strategies, the do's and the don'ts from Mr. Campbell. And so basically, I just want to welcome each and every single person. For the persons that are on YouTube and on Instagram, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to another FMA meeting. And if you're here for the first time, yeah, man, it's one of the best places to be at 3 to 5 on a Thursday. So you can look forward to the insight, the giveaways, the excitement, because the FMA always come out strong and bold. All right, so enjoy the rest of the meeting and make sure you take some notes because there's a lot of information that will come forward to you and you want to make the best of it. All right, so good luck to everybody and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yes, I see first.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
Let me get myself ready for that digital 5K virtual run here.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs. UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
Thank you. So without further ado, it's Robert for me. Without further ado, we're going to ask Team PR to come on and introduce our speaker. No, sir. Yeah, man, Robert, go on with himself. Robert, the girl, him. Sugar daddy. Alicia Marshall. Hi.
Hey guys, I'm just waiting on Marisol to join.
As a person with a disability, I'm a proud advocate for persons with special needs because I know how critical it is that support be provided to ensure every child can maximize his potential. Every dollar that is donated to this run is spent on ensuring children with special needs get an equal opportunity to an education and proper health care. To make a difference in the life of a child with special needs, make sure you sign up for the Digicel Virtual 5K for special needs this October. I am Christine Hendricks, head of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. I can for special needs, so can you.
All right. So, hi guys. I hope you are good. Hi, Alicia. Okay, so we'll jump right into the introduction of the speaker. Now, our speaker for today is Ewan Campbell. Designing marketing programs for SMEs, leading the business development and relationship management initiatives for marketing and branding firms, executing campaigns for larger, fast-moving goods, and creating a branding and experiential marketing firm that focuses on enriching the customers and consumers' engagements with brands through specially designed experience has been some of the highlights of Ewan Campbell's marketing career over the past 9 years. Ewan believes innovation, key client relationships, and team collaboration are all essential components to successfully building a robust team for any industry. As a marketing professional, Ewan specializes in successful branding and advertising projects and campaigns locally and regionally. Ewan continues to strive for transformation and impactful ways to enhance the lives of his fellow Jamaicans. Ewan knows there is no single approach that works for every market, so he continues to educate himself on emerging theories around marketing strategies, brand building, and human psychology, which helps him to configure and create solutions for each of the individual edge creative campaigns and a high service standard. Yuan has a
Hi guys, hearing me? All right.
Yeah, man, we're hearing.
Okay, great. I didn't think that she was gonna read out all the entire thing, but it works. Probably that's the first time I'm actually hearing that for myself. So thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure. I like the work that you guys are doing. The guys that you actually have an organization dedicated to marketing at such an early age. Um, so hats off to you guys. Keep up the good work, and I hope this is something that actually transcends not just from your schooling, but actual applications in life. So the floor is mine.
Yes, it is. Take it away.
All right. So today we're gonna have an interesting conversation. It may be a little bit controversial, but interesting nonetheless, right? Now, what I would want to probably start off by asking, and I'll probably put you on the spot, Alicia, is what is a marketer to you? And I'm trying to get some insights as to who it is that I'm speaking to here today. So, what's a marketer to you? And is it that we're having a conversation with future marketers, future business leaders, future entrepreneurs? Who is in the audience today? Because of course I can't see everybody, but just curious. Who am I speaking to today?
Okay, so FMA, naturally, we cater to marketers that is
Mm-hmm.
sober side. However, we've actually opened the club to include everyone in the university. So it doesn't really
Okay.
matter what you're studying. We're just trying to get everybody in the space to let them know that, okay, fine, you can be here, you can earn more, multiple sources of income, because that's what we're
Mm-hmm.
about definitely these days. So you're
Mm-hmm.
actually speaking to a wide range of persons right now.
All right, beautiful. So your on the spot question. What is a marketer? What is the role of a marketer?
Well, I believe that a marketer is a person, or it can even be an organization that promotes, they advertises, just represent the brand in which they are is it representing, so to say. So that's what I think
Mm-hmm.
they promote, they advertise, they basically create a story for that company to make sure that, okay, fine, the public knows who they are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a simpler definition. A marketer
Okay.
impacts the way people live their lives.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Full stop. Right? The role of marketing is to influence change, right? And we market ourselves on a day-to-day basis. We as individuals, right? The way that we dress, the way that we speak, the way that we present ourselves, what we put out online, that is all of a form of what we do for ourselves as marketers. And we do it without even consciously recognizing that we're doing it. So for me, marketing is the way that we impact people's lives, and that's the sole job of a marketer, right? Now today I'm not going to teach. I'm not here to teach, not here to lecture. You guys have enough of that. What I want us to do today, I want us to write a book, right? Now this book is yours to keep, and all the profits and revenues and money that you make from this book going forward is yours. Every penny is yours, right? um I've just helped or assisted in framing this book. No, and I've done that because I'm a really nice guy, right? So the book that we're going to write today is a story on marketing. You know, you mentioned storytelling. I heard in the prayer insights. I heard somebody else say insights. So you guys want to know what I go on. So the topic of the book or the name of the book is Don't Think, No, right? However you want to put that in the grammatical correctly spelled place, so the semicolon. So the title is Don't Think, No. Now, the preface or the preamble about this book, right? A lot of times marketers lead with opinions. We lead with emotions. We lead with a thought that we have a good idea. And oftentimes we don't actually know enough about the people that we're marketing to, about the product that we're marketing, and or about the environment that we're marketing in as well. So whether that be an economic environment, a geographical environment, socio-demographic environment, we don't know enough. So we lead with an opinion. We lead with a thought that we have an idea and this thing can work. Right? Now, the reason for the title is be very clear in your mind that that doesn't work. For every campaign that you probably saw that probably failed, it was led with an opinion, and that opinion failed, right? Now, it is critical as marketers for us to always be in the know, even if we don't know everything. Nobody on earth knows everything, but we need to know enough about the little bit that we are a part of, i.e., the things that we're supposed to be doing, right? Now, guys, feel free to throw in your questions to the administrator or whoever else is managing the page. Um, it's an open-ended discussion, so if there's anything that I'm saying at any point in time that you need some clarification on, feel free to jump in and ask your questions. So you guys can write this down. Again, this is your book. So I'm going to tell you the chapters of the book, right? Chapter 1, don't lead with an opinion, right? That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, do work that you're proud of, all right? Chapter 3, marketing isn't advertising. You can put isn't on the line, highlight it. It isn't advertising. Chapter 4, marketers don't get to disappear. I'm going off of Alicia's writing. You with me, Alicia?
Yeah, man, I'm with you.
All right. Chapter 5, shift the culture. Chapter 6, that's a special formula. I'll give you that formula at a later date. It's called E cube, but you can just write E cube for now, right?
Okay.
Chapter 7, data or die.
Data or die.
Yeah, data or
Okay.
die, right? Remember, you're telling a story, so the chapter them have to make sense. You have to look on the book and say, yeah, I'm willing for read this or be a part of this. Chapter 8, EQ, emotional intelligence. Chapter 9, purpose driven, not market driven. And chapter 10, my favorite chapter, idea sex.
Idea what?
Sex.
Okay.
All right, we get into it. So let's start with chapter 1. Again, I'm just giving you the cliff notes. You can go out and write your own book because this is your story to create as marketing professionals and things that you go into the world and actually do. These are probably some of the principles that you can fall back on, right? And these are some principles that I have adapted in my space in doing marketing. Now, we touched on the opinion aspect of it. A lot of times we lead with our thoughts, and you may not have enough information to compound that into an actual hypothesis. Now, how many times have you been asked a question, or how many times have you asked a question and someone answers you, or you have even been guilty of answering the question and you say, I think so. Somebody asks you something, you say, I think so. But what happens there? Two people leave without getting any further data on what is the question itself. So nobody really leaves with an answer. If I ask you what was or what is future marketing's tagline, and then somebody will say, is it lead, innovate, and create? And somebody say, I think so. Who checked it? Who actually fact checked this? Who did the research? Who actually went to a website? Who actually went to who actually asked a question? Right? We need to be mindful of the fact that insights provides concrete information on how we actually do our jobs and what it is that we are providing. So, for example, if we're going to say then, okay, I want to create a project, I want to create a park, hypothetically, right? I want to create a museum, and I want to put it in Kingston. What I need to know about Kingstonians is that Kingstonians like to exercise, Kingstonians like to eat ice cream on Sunday, Kingstonians like music and festivals, Kingstonians like outdoor activities. So putting a park in Kingston, because I have enough people that actually participate in these things and I have done my data and my research and my analysis, leads me then to believe that actually implementing a park or a museum that can now put further attractions in place makes sense. Now, if I were to go and say I'm going to implement a museum or a park that sells hot dogs, rides, all sorts of other facilities out by Hanover, not knowing the type of people that are in Hanover, not knowing the disposable income that the people in Hanover have, not knowing the communities that exist, not knowing the educational level, not knowing anything about them, just say, I'm going to put up a museum in Hanover. What you may find is that even though it may be a beautiful parish and you may have a prime location, nobody comes to the museum. So you have a business that doesn't work. You have a product that doesn't work. You have a marketing campaign for something that isn't going to get any traction because there was no insights. There was a thought, there was an opinion. I have a bright idea, but was your bright idea fact checked? Did you do your research? Did you do your analysis? Did you lead with knowledge instead of an opinion? You understand? So understanding that your knowledge base about where you are, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with, and who you choose to serve is critical. All right, let's jump into chapter 2. Do work that you're proud of. Now, being a marketer, as we had mentioned before, your image and how you carry yourself, that is something that you work on a day-to-day basis, right? So we're all marketing ourselves to the world every day. Now, we also need to be mindful that there's a legacy of marketers, maybe not in Jamaica, but on an international space. Marketers are considered egotistical, marketers are considered narcissistic because we have an independent solo attitude. This is my idea. I came up with this idea, and that's my billboard over there. I did the design for that thing over there. This is my campaign that's running. So it comes with this whole status and this whole egotistical trip. And what we need to also be careful of is when we do work for persons, we're not doing work that for just a company, right? Remember my definition of what a marketer is: impacting the way people live their lives. So you're doing work that really moves beyond you and your confined office, your space, whatever it is you think you're doing. This is work that is greater than you. This is work that is impacting hundreds, if probably not thousands of lives on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, however often they interact with your product and or brand. It needs to have an impact. So influencing culture, influencing the way that people live, operate, and even changing their mindset is a task that we have as marketers. And we need to be very respectful of that. And we need to understand that we need to nurture that. People are giving us their time, people are giving us their attention, and most importantly, people are giving us their money. So when we actually do work, it needs to represent work that can be said that 10 years from now, 5 years from now, this was not just a fad. This was something that changed the culture. This was something that actually did something that made a difference. I'll give you an example of that. Um, the agency that I used to work with, Point Global Marketing, they did something with JP St. Mary's. Um, Around the banana vending program, which now leads to what you see on the road with everybody selling bananas. So the banana man, right? That was something that we could say 10 years later, 20 years later, we're proud of it because one, that now created economic viability for persons who did not have an opportunity. Two, that also improved the status of eating and being healthy, right? So increasing your potassium intake, and looking to start leading a better lifestyle, and now giving persons an opportunity to lead that healthy lifestyle without putting them out of their way. So putting something in your presence that actually makes all of that work, right? So you don't need to go to the supermarket to buy a banana anymore just for one banana. The convenience of a banana man on your commute is already there, right? You don't need to go to the supermarket and buy the banana and them dip on the shelf and them spoil. Can you forget them or you know eat them or you take up two one morning and you come back the rest of them overripe, right? So the convenience of the banana man and what the banana man now represents is a whole paradigm shift. And we can say, yes, this was something that we did that we can be proud of, right? Chapter 3, marketing isn't advertising. I'm very passionate about it because I think that a lot of persons think that boosting ads, especially in the digital space, is marketing. Running ads is advertising, right? Advertising is advertising. Advertising is a part of marketing. It's a component of marketing, but it is not marketing. So when you hear
Right.
somebody say sales and marketing, sales is a component of marketing, but don't ever put the two of them in the same space because marketing encompasses sales. So does entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship encompasses sales as a part of its portfolio and or composition as to what it needs to drive the business, but it is not the entire business itself, right? And likewise, sales is not the entire marketing campaign itself, right? Now, we do a lot of wonderful ads. We do a lot of billboards, whether it be traditional TV, print, radio, etc., and now digital. But what we need to understand is that marketing is changing someone's perception, changing someone's attitude, changing someone's cultural dynamic, and then we're getting them to say, okay, so this is not um, something that I am just going to do a transaction for, but the value that this is providing for me is more than what I would actually even pay for it. So let me break it down. The value of a car is not the monthly payment that you're making. It is the value of comfort. It is the value of convenience. It is the value of safety for your daily commute. That's what you're paying for, not necessarily a car. The value of a loaf of bread on the shelf is the availability to feed myself and or my family. The 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 opportunity to put off or delay hunger, if you will, for want of a better word, right? So it's not the bread. So even though Mr. Chin selling a bread for $100, $200, if the bread raised to $300, I will still buy the bread because the value of what I have placed on this item is more than what it actually costs, right? So this is me carrying home food to put on the table for my family. This now serves me because I'm now being a provider. The car that you buy, the clothes that you wear, you would pay the money for a shirt because this is providing you with um, physical comfort. You know, walk road without clothes, you know, catch cold, whatever it is. You are paying for something that has more value to you than the price tag on it. So when you're doing advertising, what you're doing is selling someone something, but the perceived value for what is being sold is really what we need to focus on as marketers. So understanding the how much is this really worth to the person, not just the price tag. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just the price tag. Um, anybody? I'll use you guys. Marisol. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's Marisol.
Marisol. Okay. Um, you guys good, right? Any questions?
Well, what I was interested, what I was interested in though was your podcast, but I didn't know if I could buzz in right now, being that you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
Sure, we
That's
get into
fine.
that. Yeah, but we get
You
into
all
that.
right?
We get into that. We get
Okay.
into that.
All right.
What's the next chapter? Marketers don't get to disappear. No, I wrote an article on LinkedIn recently, um, during the COVID time, specifically titled that. And the reason for that is because we do sales traditionally and advertising, we are selling you something when it is available and when time good and when all of that is going on and when the economy is booming and everybody have something going on and we are trying to get in everybody's face and space and making no say, oh, we're there too. Now, what happens when there's a downturn? What happens when the economy collapses? What happens when there's an economic crisis? What happens when there's no energy, no resources, no capital for persons to move, for goods to come into the country, for capital to be raised, for funding, for activities? We just sit back and don't say anything because the money not there? Or do we actually raise the profile of our brand by saying to persons that, look, despite everything that is happening, no, we're still here. We're still there, right? So don't feel no way we understand all what going on. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm not saying nothing. I just go on, take my time. If you need anything, we are here for you as well, right? And trying to find solutions around how can we be there for our customers that don't have the money to spend with us right now. That is a complete shift that we need to understand and appreciate. That person appreciates you so much more in the long term because you know why? Persons will always remember how you made them feel. Not exactly what you did, but how you made them feel. So I will remember that in my downturn, then Scotia did call me and said, look, understand say right now, look at thing go on and you can't probably pay your loans. So guess what go on? We're gonna give you a 2 month reprieve, right? And so a little cash back up on your credit card. You never did due fee, but we understand what go on. We're gonna give you a cash back on your credit card still. So you can buy some grocery, you can live a little bit. And we understand say there's a downturn. You may have lost your job. You may not have any money coming in right now. So what does an institution, and I'm just using a financial institution as an example, but what does an institution, what does a brand do when there is nothing that can be done? You understand? These are some of the things that we need to start to ask ourselves. And I think we need to ask more questions more than anything else. Asking questions rather than trying to create hypothesis is probably another challenge that we need to work out. So why is this happening? How can we help? How can we improve this? How can we make this better? How can we pivot? How can we change the approach? We need to ask ourselves questions, and in asking ourselves questions, we get the opportunity to find better solutions for the challenges that exist. Right? Shift the culture. We spoke about that a little bit. Marketing is more than just being in your face with an ad or something pretty or a nice message, right? For me, the impact of marketing is really a cultural value shift. And what does that mean for a particular subset of people over a longer period of time? How do people actually move with your product through the ages? We have a challenge now in terms of brand loyalty, which once upon a time, if you drink Appleton, you're an Appleton drinker. No, anything with up on the shelf with us, where I work with. You know, really, neither here nor there. Just give me some liquor, you
It
know.
really matter.
Um, so how do we ensure that we create a culture and not offer that culture relevance by working with them, by being with them, by staying with them, by being there um, through thick and thin, by creating a value structure that they see us as more valuable than we even see them. They can't live their lives without including us. What is that cultural relevance that we're building? Because in every space, there's a culture and a subculture. And we need to figure out what that niche is and how we can be a part of that niche and make sure. And this is applicable to traditional marketing, digital marketing, direct marketing, everything at all. Because it's the way that we think about things before we approach a problem. The channels and the tactics exist in terms of what you do for digital, what do you do for traditional. All of those are channels. But if you don't have the overall assessment of the strategy, then the channel and the tactic becomes irrelevant. You understand? The E cube, for those who are writing, empathy plus experience equals evangelism. All right, I'm gonna copyright that, but I'm giving it for now.
Repeat that one,
Empathy,
please. Yeah.
empathy plus experience equals evangelism. If you think about it, it's probably the most succinct way of saying think about who you're targeting and who you're doing the work for, and do it with generosity, and do it creatively, and do it purposefully, not just to try and sell somebody something. Create an experience for them that matters, that now will have them resonate with your brand in a way that will not even allow them to be the only ones that enjoy this. They want to tell somebody else, which equals evangelism, right? So they go out and telling persons, yo, I bought this thing today and it is the best thing since sliced bread, right? I was introduced to this product today and it is the best thing. Because what happens when it serves me well, I now need to get my friends, my colleagues, my network involved, because now there's a thing that I think that we should all be a part of, right? Which is why you have a BMW club, which is why you have a Subaru club, which is why you have a Evo club, because these persons have found that this product has served them so well that they have now evangelized and said, yo, if you're not a driver of BMW, I run carry a drive. And so does the Subaru man say, if you're not a driver of Subaru, really get a proper driving experience. And so does the other crews. So does the iPhone versus Samsung. You have people that line up for iPhone for how much hours because they're a part of a I would say they're a part of a cult, but something wrong with them. But that's them. For the iPhone users, um, I'm a Samsung person. Sorry, but they're a part of a culture and they understand what that culture means to them. Apple now represents everything that I do as a part of my day-to-day activity. Apple controls my communication with my friends, how I set my life in terms of meetings, calendars, scheduling, etc. How I interact with my music, how I interact with any other social setting that I am going to now be a part of. Apple is a part of my life, right? So looking at creating the thought behind what are we going to do to change these people's worlds? What are we going to do to change our world, to change our culture, to change our perspective? So empathy plus experience equals evangelism. You'll have all the affinity that your heart will desire. Everybody will be asking, where can I get this? Everybody will be asking, who did this? Everybody will be asking, how can I be a part of this? And that's really the aim. You don't want to just sell somebody something because you can just go be a salesman if that's the case. You can go sell pen and book and pencil and just call it a day, but that's not what we do, right? We do whole lot more than that. Um, Data or die. Pretty straightforward. Have your data, or else you're going to die in the marketing world and in the business world. Ensure that you understand what data means, and ensure that you understand how to collect data, and ensure that you understand how to analyze data. These things may sound a bit harsh in the in the initial stages, right? Because a lot of you probably haven't really done any form of data science work or any data analysis work or anything like that. But it is something that you need to have in the back of your mind. Remember, Ewan said on the 15th of October, 3:38, make sure say have your data, right? Because the
Yeah.
way in which the world is turning, data is the only thing that will remain as the constant variable that you can have access to. Psychometrics and it's now changing from demographics to psychographic, right? So no longer only is it important for you to know where a person lives or what school they went to or what community they are a part of. You need to understand what groups they are a part of, what cultural groups are they a part of. Is this a youth that is a vegan? Is this a youth that is a part of a bikers club? If this is a youth who have a gym membership, if this is a youth who have a subscription to all the latest movies, is he a comic fan? This is the type of data that you know need to get. It's not just no longer John Brown, 33, that lives in New Kingston and or went to such and such high school. You need to know understand a lot more about the persons that you're dealing with, which now gives you the opportunity for you to create a better funnel, if you will, as to how you actually get the thing done. You understand? Emotional intelligence, that's pretty straightforward. Understanding people and understanding how people work, what makes people tick. If you have a best friend from 10 years ago, you understand your best friend, right? So you know how to deal with your best friend. The people in the world and the people in the space that you are trying to serve, they need to also be your best friend. You need to understand them. You need to understand what they do, how they do it, when they do it, why they do it. People are the most complicated, or the topic of people is the most complicated science. It is said that learning about people and understanding people is even harder than figuring out how to build a spaceship. And is a scientist says so. So, which is why you have psychological theories that advance and change over every 10 years. Somebody come out and say, no, that theory doesn't make no sense. And so people stay now because people are always evolving. We're a very complex creature. We're weird, we're smart, we're fool, all in one, right? So we need to understand that getting to know as much as you can, which goes back to the first thing. Don't think no, is critical. You need to have your your emotional scorecard, basically understanding who you're serving. So when you get the people in, so you'll always be able to create a product, and you always be able to create a service, and you can create an ad. But when you get them to come pay attention, when you get them to come stand up in front of you, what next? You know, how do you actually keep them there? Because what you'll have is they will come and they'll stand up in front of you now, and they will take out their money and give you. But tomorrow, I'm gone somewhere else.
Right.
What you want is for them to come back right here, same time, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and as many times as possible. That is now when you understand who you are dealing with and how to deal with that person, right? Purpose driven, not market driven. Now we understand that there are fads that happens. Sometimes we see a little trend, and because we realize that there's a trend, we want to go create a campaign for that trend. That works, but that's a tactic, right? If you're purpose driven, you understand the holistic scope as why you are a marketer in the first place, and why you are doing marketing for this brand, and why it is that your company and or you as an individual have decided to undertake creating this product or creating this value proposition. What is it that we're actually doing? How can we actually make sure that through the test of time, every other fad that comes, every other trend that comes, we're still there, right? Gucci is still Gucci, no matter how much times fashion changes. Mercedes Benz is still Mercedes Benz, no matter how many times them change a car or change the features, right? We need to understand that the purpose of these brands, they have understood their purpose. And likewise with Apple. Apple has changed the interface of how we actually use technology, but they were purpose driven. Their purpose was to change the way people actually use technology and to impact the world with technology. BlackBerry come on dead. Um, Several other phone companies come on dead, but Apple still stays, right? They created their purpose and they stuck to it. It might take a long time, but that's okay. And that's something that we need to also create an awareness of time, that we are building something that is bigger than ourselves. So if you don't see it work in the first year, the first 2 years, the first 3 years, it's not the time for us to throw the paper and say, don't know. How long is Apple around? Steve Jobs started Apple from before most of us were born. Microsoft was built before some of us were born. Coca-Cola was built before some of us were born. Nike. We talk about all the great companies now that are leading the world in branding, marketing, strategy, innovation, every other key buzzword that you want to throw around. A long time them all do this thing. So we can't be short-sighted and think that a 6 months blitz doesn't work and that we call it a day, right? We need to understand that we actually have to really dig deep and commit. That's what we need to do. Commit wholeheartedly to doing this thing. If you're a marketer, you're a marketer. Don't make nobody come change your mind and say, oh, that not work. There's a space for it. We need to create and consistently create the outlook of what we know we want to create for the world and what we know we think is value added and impactful. See? Last one, idea sex. No, this comes from a guy that I read a book. It's called Choose Yourself. The author's name is James Altucher, overseas guy. I heard it and I was like, what him just say? And I'm sure some of you have had that same reaction as well. The idea of idea sex is merging your ideas into creating a new union. So engineering and medicine can create something completely new. I don't just have to be an engineer over here and a medical practitioner over here, right? Um, Food and technology merge it and make something new. I don't have to be a restaurateur over here and an IT professional alone over here. So we oftentimes have ideas that are independent of each other. We write down ideas, we sketch, we draw, we put things down, we write it on notebooks and sticky pad and put them all over the place. Best practice, try and get them in a one centralized place, but we'll have our ideas all over. And sometimes we'll have an idea that is completely in a different linear um, path to another idea. But if you stop for a minute and assess what you're actually making notes of and what you're actually doing and what you're actually a part of, you'll see that you can pull an idea from over here, so merge it with another one over here, so and you get a completely new idea and a new idea baby born. And that idea baby can grow up and become a new idea all by itself and a brilliant idea also by itself, right? And then create something completely new. And then you continue just doing idea sex, and you create a whole new family of ideas, right? So understanding that we have the opportunity to create, we have the opportunity to imagine, we have the opportunity to build, we have the opportunity to design a whole host of things that I don't think we've ever really even tapped into our full potential. I think there's some data or some science that says we only use like a small percentage of our brain. We don't really tap into what makes us special as yet, and that is still yet to be realized. As far as advanced as the world has become, we still have a far way to go. So as marketers, we need to understand our roles in that space and how we make this thing magical for everybody. That's my rant. I don't know, your time now.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I'm coming back to that podcast question.
All right,
Correct.
right. So let me start. Blank canvas, quickly. What blank canvas is an opportunity to shift the culture. Now, you asked about the podcast. I hope you've actually listened to even one of the episodes. If not, please do. I'd appreciate it. And I'd love your feedback. So the aim of how we change our mindset, I learned through sharing. And some of the things that I'm doing here today, I never thought about it until Rolisha called me and said, "Hey, can you come and do a presentation for us?" Da, 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 da. I never planned to write out a 10 chapter book and call it Don't Think
Don't
No,
think
or you
no.
guys in presenting something like this. This wasn't on my plate, this wasn't in my idea at all. However, the opportunity presented itself. So I learned through sharing. And in my thought, I said, what if all of these crazy thoughts that I have, I can actually start to have a conversation with people around them and looking at the way that we actually build up creativity and build up the understanding that we're all creative in the first place. Despite whether you're an accountant, an engineer, or despite whether you're a chef, you know how talented you are to be cooking and preparing a meal. Like some people say, "Oh, you can cook," and I'm gonna say, "That's like an extraordinary talent. Every time I go up on the stove, I burn up something." So somebody do that and do it so well. It's creativity in a new form. Now, the conversations that I aim to have are with creatives about creativity, but not just about creativity, but about also how do we look at perspective? What is our perspective on the space and the industries that we're a part of? And how do we create an ecosystem for ourselves that allows for a better way of thinking, a better way of operating, and a new way of actually innovating things. A lot of times I think that we actually wait, we want somebody to meet us halfway. When in truth and in fact is we need to actually drive everything fully. Like if somebody come them forward, then that's fine. You can hop on. But the driving process to actually getting the thing done, a lot of times people aren't going to meet us halfway because they don't have the same vision, they don't have the same ideas, they don't have the same thought processes around how can we actually execute this. So creating an ecosystem now where we actually have persons of like mind, of same purpose and passion and drive is delivering something that we can look and say, all right, this actually can work. And for me, it is not even more so around 100,000 persons listening to the podcast or tuning in or subscribing. For me, it's impact driven. And going back to it, purpose driven versus
Purpose
market
driven.
driven. Everybody, I like you. You're smart. Everybody is doing a podcast now. What are some people doing podcasts around?
Mm-hmm.
First time they go to a local restaurant, go eat some food, them getting a haircut, them walking the dog, them getting a Brazilian wax. Me see one the other day. I'm a friend, but geez, I'm like, we're doing this now. So when we are actually creating things, what are we creating it for? What's the timeline? What's the lifeline for it? So when we are actually designing something, who are we making it for? And I realized that I wanted to make something that actually served a bigger purpose than me. So the impact that season one has already had is the fact that I've got persons to start their businesses. I've had that for me is success because they listen to the podcast. They've had this thing that they've been sitting on for how long? 4 or 5 years or months. And through listening to a couple episodes of the podcast, we had a conversation, and it's like, finally, I can talk to somebody that I probably feel like, or I can hear something that I probably can feel like this inspires me to actually go out and do the thing that I've been rattling within my brain. Or I got an insight from a conversation that you had with someone who shared something that I found valuable, and I took that insight and I started to make this thing. So getting persons to actually move is the first thing, because a whole heap of people get information and don't do anything with it. Whole heap of people go to presentations, rallies, talks. They have mentors and everybody around them. Whole heap of talking go on, little bit of action. For me, the purpose of Blank Canvas is to actually drive action, drive persons to not just sit back and think about, okay, this was a nice conversation that I listened to, but what do I take from this conversation and what do I move forward with? So getting persons to actually get up, move, go register them business, start something, and look to start creating a business plan and getting, that's the impact for me. That can surpass 100,000 views. That for me, that is that drives what I actually um designed for Blank Canvas. And going into season two, it's no different. So that's what it is for me.
And I'm so happy that you say that because of meeting after meeting, we've been hearing, and I really want to stress it that the quality of whatever it is that you are putting out there, it is very important. It We tend, especially young people, we tend to focus on the wrong things. We tend to focus on who is going to subscribe to this, how many persons. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
look at Alicia, she has the same thing. How is it that she got this? And the
Mm-hmm.
focus has been drift. You're no longer putting in work in what is it that you're actually trying to put out there. And because the focus is shift, you're losing quality, you're losing value and all these
Exactly.
things. So,
Exactly.
right.
Run your own race.
Yes,
And be
and
mindful of the fact that everybody's race is not the same.
Right.
Understand?
mhm, that's
Your
true.
your
People have some
your
questions.
oh,
Oh,
sure, go ahead, Alicia.
yeah. So someone asks, right, there it is. So you can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what if
So
I can't find a marketing idea because that data was collected, had a solution already? Let's go back to Apple. Phone did make before Apple Reacher, Computer did make before Apple Reacher. I don't even know if Bill Gates started Microsoft before. But as a matter of fact, if you check the story and you check the history, Microsoft had a huge market share over Apple when they just started. Huge. Microsoft was running the place in terms of their software and hardware, right? BlackBerry and I think it was BlackBerry. Yeah, on the cusp of when Steve Jobs decided to do the first iPhone, I think BlackBerry was in, and BlackBerry was the largest telecoms hardware provider. Why not? That's the question. Why not? If you have an idea and there's a solution for that idea already, as a matter of fact, let's put this plain and straight. There's no idea under the sun that somebody hasn't tried something like it already. That is the first thing, right? Somebody has created something like that already. If not in Jamaica, somewhere else in the world. And depending on the market size, it may be even multiple types of the same thing. right? But the difference is understanding that your niche doesn't have to coincide with what that other person has created. If you're creating something and you're understanding what your value is, what your purpose is, and what is driving your thing, it now becomes a space where you can understand and particularly learn with things over time. It doesn't have to be the same um store that is we have a tendency in Jamaica that if you pass on a particular lane or a particular community, you say, well, it like about 10 shop. Like are true, especially in a country part.
Actually,
But 10 shop,
Definitely.
but the 10 shop them still exist. And the 10 shop them open every morning the same time. And you can't say the 10 shop them not sell the same thing. But they're running business, aren't they? They're doing something. So understanding that you have a responsibility to create something that you may find as value, but you also have a responsibility to create something through some innovation. So who has found the solution first don't necessarily have the best approach. You can look at it from a different perspective and you can change the angle and you can change the shift. You can change and make a shift and create something new, even if it is serving the same market. Create something new. A whole heap of car up on the road. BMW still sell, Honda still sell, Hyundai still sell. Hyundai, like people drive that? Yes. So fear not the fact that a solution has been created already. You need to ask yourself, why not? Why not do this thing? Nevertheless, why not make this better than the competition? Why not create a brand that speaks volumes to the community that I serve? So even if that person has 100,000 persons that is buying from them, I can satisfy with 10,000. I don't may not necessarily need 100,000 because 100,000 persons that buy from them sometimes may not be as great as the 10,000 persons that buy from you all the time. You follow my maths? Yeah, man.
All right. So this is the final question.
Mm-hmm. What advice? Hold on, Igan.
I was
Or you
going
can
to
ask.
actually, there was one question that stood out. As you mentioned, idea sets, what are some of the techniques individuals can use to create idea babies?
Um, Documentation. It's critical. Don't We have the phone them to our advantage. Use it not just for Instagram and WhatsApp. Use it as your data space. Collect if you're walking by and something jump out at you, write it down. Take out your phone and text. You may not have a pen and book with you all the time, but I'm sure you have your phone. Make documentations as to what inspires you. Make notes as to what drives you, and ask yourself a lot of questions as well. Question your creativity. Question your intuition. Question your thoughts. Like like really, I I have. I'll admit this to you guys. I talk to myself a lot. Wholehearted conversations. I create scenarios and I actually be the next person and I ask myself the question and then I go over this, so I ask about this question and me interchange roles. It's just how you can actually start the process. Everybody's process is different, but it's actually how you get into the act of digging deep to find out what gets you ticking, right? And then once you can find that, you can make steps and advancements in creating your ideas, writing stuff down, making documentations. Let nothing pass, and let no one tell you that this idea don't work. Just make your notes. And what happens is that in making your notes, you'll find that some ideas that came out on the first page can integrate with some notes so that we're on our next part, right? And that is how you actually make the process. But it also takes a lot of revisiting. So the book that I have that I scribble in, I occasionally will just take up that book and just go through it. Just go through it. Just refresh your mind with some things that you may have passed on before and know there's probably an opportunity for it to actually happen. Many times you'll hear persons say, They may see something actually happening. Somebody created something, and then out of the blue, hear a man say, "Yo, me the have an idea like that one time." So where is it? You know, where? What did you do with it? So making sure that you actually document your ideas, um, in a sequenced way, or your way, how it works for you, and read. That's another key component. Be open to learning. Read things where you're never even interested in. Just go fast. Curiosity builds the ideas as well. Fast. No matter what tell us, oh yeah, no fee, yeah man, ask question. Fast. I start reading up books on psychology and how the brain works and what motivates people to actually do actions, and how emotions, you have your emotion brain, you have your thinking brain, you have your feeling brain. Like my God, some things where I'm like, what is? But that gets my thought processes in a different space. So now I can loop some things in with some other things and then make an idea baby, basically.
Oh, love that. Actually, I have never heard of this in my entire life. I don't even know how you come up with this, but it makes so much sense. And I want to thank you so much for coming today and sharing your ideas. And Alicia then will further extend um, our thanks on behalf of the club.
Wow. We get things,
Yes.
thanks.
Yes. Okay, guys. So as you know, we have to end early today because of the student union mass meeting. So we're wrapping up now. So Ewan, I must say a big thank you for coming through for us today and to basically come here and just have that conversation with us and to remind us in the importance of marketers in this world, right? And this is
Absolutely.
our
Thank
token
you.
of appreciation on behalf of the FMA family. We really appreciate you and your time that you gave to us. Definitely appreciating it. So thanks again,
Thank you
and I
so
will
much.
be emailing you this certificate in a
Thank
minute.
you.
Yeah.
I hope you guys go out and make a big impact in the world, and not just Jamaica. Think big, guys. Think big.
Yeah, it
Thank
will do.
you. We'll email the certificate to you.
All right, great. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
Let me get myself ready for that digital 5K virtual run here.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
UTECH FMA runs for special needs. UTECH FMA runs for special needs.
All right. Good evening, guys. So I'm just here to give you guys a reminder to sign up for the Digicel 5K run walk. That the deadline is fast approaching, and by fast approaching, I mean the deadline is literally tomorrow. So for everyone who hasn't signed up as yet, I'd advise you to do so between today and early tomorrow, because our cutoff time for sign up is 12 noon. So basically, guys, even if you don't want to participate in the 5K run walk, you can just donate the $1,500, and yeah, it will go towards the special needs. So for everyone who hasn't understand how it will be taking place, basically they've allowed for us to do it from the comfort of anywhere you feel
convenient. So if you feel like you'd go to a gym and go on the treadmill, then you could do that. If not, you could go to a park and do it there as well. If you want to run around your house, you can do it there as well. So I'm advising you guys, please to sign up. The links are in the Instagram bios. It's also in the members group. So if one of the execs suggested you to sign up, you just put your name on the forum as well. So yeah, guys, that's about it.
As a person with a disability, I'm a proud advocate for persons with special needs because I know how critical it is that support be provided to ensure every child can maximize his potential. Every dollar that is donated to this run is spent on ensuring children with special needs get an equal opportunity to an education and proper health care. To make a difference in the life of a child with special needs, make sure you sign up for the Digicel Virtual 5K for special needs this October. I am Christine Hendricks, head of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. I can for special needs, so can you.